Have you ever wondered what it really takes to become a citizen of France? Well, the whole journey actually starts with this small but super important document, the Livre du Citoyen, the Citizen's Booklet. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through that exact guide to really get to the heart of the principles, the history, and the responsibilities that shape French life.
So, what is it that France actually asks of people who want to join its national community? You know, this question goes way beyond just paperwork and residency rules. It really gets to the core of what it means to share in the French way of life, its values, and of course, its future.
Okay, so the path to citizenship kicks off with a formal interview, and the goal here is to check two things. First, that you have a pretty solid grasp of French history, culture, and society. And second, and this is just as crucial, that you truly understand and are on board with the core principles and values of the Republic.
And that brings us right to the foundation of it all. Before we can even talk about history or how the government works, you've got to understand the core values that the entire French Republic is built on. This is the philosophical bedrock.
You've seen these words everywhere, right? On town halls, on coins, liberty, equality, fraternity. This is not just some catchy motto. This is the three-pillared foundation of the French Republic, and getting what they mean is totally non-negotiable. Let's start with liberté. So what is it, really? At its heart, it's a guarantee of your fundamental freedoms. It's the right to think what you want, to believe or not believe in whatever you want, to say what you think, and to get together with others. It's basically the space that every single person is given to just be themselves.
Which of course leads to a really important practical question. Does this freedom of expression have any limits? I mean, can you just say absolutely anything you feel like in a public space?
And the answer is a very clear no. The crucial point here is that this right comes with responsibilities. Your freedom pretty much ends where the rights of other people begin. The law doesn't protect speech that's considered an insult, defamation, or an incitement to hatred. So liberty requires respect.
All right, let's move on to the second pillar, égalité. This principle is, straightforward but incredibly powerful. It just means the law is the same for everyone. Every citizen has the exact same rights and the exact same duties, with no exceptions for their gender, where they come from, their religion, or their sexual orientation. So, let's put this to the test with a real-world scenario. Can a company legally decide not to hire you simply because of your origins or because of your gender? And the answer you get shows just how seriously this value is taken. An unequivocal absolutely not. Any decision about hiring, about promotion, it has to be based on professional reasons, not personal ones. To do anything else is illegal discrimination, plain and simple. And the final pillar is fraternité. Now this is about way more than just friendship. It's about solidarity. It's this idea of a shared commitment to live together as one single community. And the best practical example the booklet gives is the French social security system. It's funded by everyone to support everyone. That is fraternity in action.
Now, right alongside that main motto is another fundamental principle, laïcité, or secularism. This is a massive cornerstone of the French Republic. It means there's a strict separation between the state and religious institutions. The state doesn't get involved in religion, and religion doesn't get involved in the state. And this is what guarantees both the freedom to believe and the complete neutrality of public institutions.
This leads to probably one of the most well-known applications of laïcité. Why exactly does a 2004 law forbid students in public schools from wearing ostensible or, really visible religious symbols, like a headscarf, a kippah, or a large cross?
Well, the thinking behind it is twofold. First, the school is a public space meant to form all citizens, so it has to stay a neutral space, totally free from religious influence. And second, it's seen as a way to protect young students from any potential pressure they might get from their peers about religion.
So, once you've got these core values down, how do they actually translate into daily life? Well, that brings us to the concrete rights and duties of being a French citizen. It's kind of like the rules of the game. Citizenship here is really presented as a two-way street. On one side, you've got your rights, the right to vote once you turn 18, the right to equal access to public sector jobs, and all those freedoms we just talked about. But on the other side, you've got duties. You have to respect the law, you have to contribute financially through taxes, and you have to be ready to participate in national defense.
Understanding the values and rules is key, for sure, but you also need to know how the whole system works. So think of this next part as a simplified map of France's democratic government. You can really break it down into 4 key steps.
It all starts with the citizens. They're the ones who elect the president and the parliament. Then, the president appoints the prime minister and the government. After that, the parliament's job is to vote on the laws of the nation. And crucially, that same parliament holds the government accountable for its actions. So power flows from the people, and it's also checked by the people.
Becoming a citizen also means you're becoming part of a long, shared story. It's not just about memorizing dates, but about understanding the key moments that have shaped the France we see today.
This timeline hits on some of the huge moments. You've got 1789, the Revolution. That's what gave us the Declaration of the Rights of Man. Then the 1880s, when Jules Ferry established those free, mandatory, and secular public schools we just talked about. 1945, the liberation from Nazi occupation. And 1958, when Charles de Gaulle founded the Fifth Republic, which is the system that's still in place today.
Okay, so that brings us from France's past to its present. Let's zoom out a little bit and look at the country's position on the global stage right now.
I mean, the country is a major global player. We're talking about the world's sixth largest economy. And culturally, its draw is just undeniable. It is still the #1 tourist destination on the entire planet.
And the booklet makes a special point to highlight something vital. France has been built and enriched by people who came from all over the world. Just look at a few of these famous naturalized citizens. Marie Curie from Poland, Josephine Baker from the US, Marc Chagall from Russia, Charles Aznavour, born to Armenian immigrants. Their stories are now woven right into the fabric of French history.
Which brings us to this final, really powerful quote pulled directly from the booklet. France is rich from many foreign contributions. You know, this isn't just a closing line, it's a statement of identity. It suggests that being French isn't really about where you started, but about the community you choose to join and to enrich. So the ultimate question this guide leaves us with is, what would it mean to you to become part of that story?